Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda. I'm your host Jamil Rashid, and I have with me today, I'm very happy to say, Sheikh Muhammad Salah. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Jamil.
Jazakallah for being with us in this Ramadan, Sheikh.
Wa jazakum.
Okay, to my viewers, to our viewers, thank you also for being with us this Ramadan. We hope that you have a wonderful and blessed Ramadan, and we're here throughout the month of Ramadan with you. If you want to join with us today, if you want to ask us a question, please give us a call. Our country code is 202, then it's 38555 248 or 249. Now, alternatively, you can give us an email at ask@huda.tv. Just some information from some of the brothers in the administration. When you do send an email to ask@huda.tv, in the subject line, please put down the title or the question you're asking, just the title, because when you have several hundred emails, it's very difficult to go through them. So please, that's just one of the notes from the administration. Jazakallah khair. Okay, let's start off with a question here, Sheikh. It's a quite a common question the sister's asking. Regarding Umrah in the month of Ramadan, she says, I'm recently performed Umrah in this month, she just returned. By doing so, have I received the reward of making Hajj? She says, I've heard some hadith of the Prophet ﷺ speaking about it, but she wants some clarification on it, Sheikh.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyihi wa Mustafa, Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa ba'd. It has been reported that the Prophet ﷺ asked an Ansari woman by the name Sinan, may Allah be pleased with her, why didn't you perform Hajj with me this year? She said, O Messenger of Allah, we only have 2 camels, nadihan. One of them we use for watering, fetch water and irrigate our plants. And the other one my husband utilized to perform Hajj on, so I did not have a right. The Prophet ﷺ assured her, saying, don't you worry, whenever it is Ramadan, just perform Umrah, since Umratun fi Ramadan ta'dilu Hajjah. And in another narration, فَإِنَّ عُمْرَةً فِي رَمَضَانَ تَعْدِلُ حَجَّةً مَعِي. Performing Umrah during the month of Ramadan is equivalent, a reward to the performance of Hajj. And in the other narration, it is even much greater reward. Performing Umrah during the month of Ramadan is equivalent reward to performing Hajj with the Prophet ﷺ in his company ﷺ. So this is as far as the reward, but with this waive the mandate of performing Hajj? Of course not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. People owe performing Hajj to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once they can afford the means. They're physically fit and they have the financial means and they feel safe and secure to perform Hajj. So if one have the means and does not perform Hajj, then according to Umar ibn Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, من استطاع أن يحج فلم يفعل فلا عليه أن يموت يهوديا أو نصرانيا. If one have the means to perform Hajj and does not do so, then let him die as a Jew or as a Christian. He did not fulfill the 5th pillar of the deen. If you have calls, inshallah, we can take them. And
okay, we have our first caller today, Sister Saida from Nigeria. Sister, you're live and Ask Huda. Your questions, please. Sister Saida, you with us? Okay, I think we lost Sister Saida there. Okay, next is Sister Amina, also from Nigeria. Sister, you're live and Ask Huda. Your question, please.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Mubarak to you, sister.
I just want to ask a question. If you take an injection, will it break the fast?
Okay, sister, what type of injection would it be?
A malaria injection.
Okay, malaria injection.
Medicine,
okay. Okay, great. Jazakallah khair, Sister Amina. Sister Amina there from Nigeria. Jazakallah khair, sister. Okay, we've got a question here from Brother Abu Abdullah from Athens, from Greece. he's speaking about a situation we find all over the Muslim world actually, and also of course in the non-Muslim world where there's a minority of Muslims. He says many people frequent the mosques during Ramadan, but only for the Taraweeh prayers, the prayers which are like the night prayers or the Qiyam after Salat al-Isha. They don't actually pray the 5 prayers. He says, is this system of worship incorrect, Sheikh?
Wonderful. I just want to go back to the previous question that I didn't finish its answer,
Okay,
and
sorry.
it is very much relating to the second question that you presented right now. When the Prophet ﷺ says, if somebody prays Fajr in Jama'ah and says to recite Quran or make adhkar until it is sunrise, then offers the 2 rak'ahs of duha, Allah will give him the reward of performing Hajj and Umrah. Would that waive the mandate of performing Hajj or going for Umrah? Of course not. You just get the reward of performing Hajj and Umrah. Allah is the most generous. Our lifespan is very short. Our deeds are insufficient to give thanks for one ni'mah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us opportunities to magnify the reward of our minor and little good deeds. If we sit for 45 minutes or an hour after Fajr to recite the Quran and make adhkar, then pray, would that be equivalent to performing Hajj and Umrah? Yes, in reward. The Prophet ﷺ said, تَامَّتَيْنِ, perfect Hajj and Umrah, complete Hajj and Umrah. But it does not mean that will waive the mandate or the obligation of performing Hajj. The question you just presented, that somebody prays Taraweeh and does not pray the Fard, that does not make any sense. And his Taraweeh is not accepted even. I know somebody will say, Sheikh, this is a little harsh. Perhaps by praying Taraweeh, Allah will forgive him his sin and he will become better. No, we have to set things straight. And I'm saying this because that's a trend. Don't you agree? It's not an individual case. There are some people
communities,
who do not pray, who do not literally recognize the Fard prayer. But it became like a tradition. It's a cultural tradition. It's a trend that we have to pray Taraweeh, so pray Taraweeh. We have to fast during Ramadan, so everybody's fasting. Let's fast. Just fast from eating and drinking and so on. No. A person who does not pray willingly and knowingly, knowing that the Salah is a Fard, and the person who does not pray is a non-Muslim, then he chose to be a non-Muslim. We differentiate between the person who abandoned the prayer out of laziness, out of negligence. We give him the opportunity 3 days and we tell him that the Salah is a must and you must offer every Fard on its proper time. So if he still insists, he should be treated then as a non-Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ said, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة فمن تركها فقد كفر. That is the major difference between Muslims and non-Muslims as far as the acts of worship. As-salah, because when you look into the different acts of worship, if you're sick or traveling, you're exempt from fasting. Some people don't get to fast at all because they're chronically ill. And meanwhile, if they're poor, they don't pay zakah. Rather, they're eligible to take zakah. And if they're poor and sick, they don't have to perform hajj at all. So what's left from the ibadat? What's left from the different acts of worship? Ash-shahada and offering the prayer. So if you do not offer the prayer, then there's no need to pray Taraweeh. It doesn't mean that to stop everything. Rather, you should begin by offering the Fard prayer.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, we have Sister Samiha from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia next. Sister, you're live and ask her your question, please.
Hello, salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May Allah have His kind mercy on the whole Muslim Ummah and on the poor of Huda.
Ameen.
And may Allah grant you the highest ranks here and in hereafter.
Ameen, Ya Rabbi.
Okay, I have 2 questions. Am I allowed to ask?
Yes, please, Sister.
Question number 1 is that what should we recite during different sujood, like sajda shukr, sajda sahu, or sajda tilawat, apart from the supplication? Okay, question 2 is it permissible to fast, voluntary fasting on behalf of my mother if she is alive, alhamdulillah, and she cannot afford fasting?
Okay, Jazakallah khair, Sister. Okay, next we have Sister Nadia from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Sister, you're live and ask her your question, please.
Yeah, hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, I want to ask 2 questions.
Yes.
Number one is that my daughter is 1 year old only, so I'm afraid to go to the mosque, maybe she will run out. So if I am praying Taraweeh at home, so can I recite the Quran, open the Quran and recite, or I have to say only those surahs which is memorized? And my second question is that if this in Ramadan, if you buy or you make new clothes like that, so is it out of hisab? Like, I mean, some people say that in Ramadan we are the guest of Allah, so we don't have any hisab in eating or anything, any food, anything what we make. So is it right?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Sister Nadia. Okay. Okay, Sister Nadia, 2 good questions there. We'll come on to the questions. Sheikh, you were just finishing off on the topic of the brothers and sisters. If we believe that somebody is who doesn't pray, brings himself out of the fold of Islam, it's not for somebody to go around and say you're out of the fold. We're not encouraging someone to go up to a brother and say, oh, you haven't prayed for 2 days, then you're not a Muslim, and you're not Muslim, and you're not Muslim.
Obviously not. We're only setting the rules that the Prophet ﷺ said, but the matter of deciding who's a Muslim and who's not a Muslim is up to the Muslim scholar who's appointed by the authorities to determine. So when they go hold of a person who doesn't want to pray, and they give him 3 days, and he insists on not praying, they will treat him as a non-Muslim. This is not the individual task to judge others.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Okay, Sister Amina's question regarding somebody taking injections, a malaria injection, for example, to a medicine. Is this allowed in Ramadan?
It is allowed whenever it is necessary, and it does not invalidate fasting.
Okay.
As long as the injection is not nutritive, it's not saline or glucose or anything that is nutritive, then and it is necessary, antibiotic, antiviral, whatever, then it is permissible and it won't affect the fasting.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Sister Samiha's question, are there particular du'as to recite when in sajda, for example, sajda shukr, like she said here, or talawat?
The same supplication that we recite in the regular sujood. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. In Sajda to Tilawa, for instance, it was reported to say, Allahumma ahtut anni biha wizra, waktub li biha ajra, waj'alha li indaka dhukhra. If somebody does not recall any of these supplications, saying Subhana Rabbi al-A'la will be very sufficient.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we have Brother Abdurrahman from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Brother, you're live on Ask Huda. Your question, please. Brother Abdurrahman, are you with us?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother, I have a question about missed rak'ah. For example, if I join Dhuhr and I miss the first 2.
Yeah.
So after the Imam's done with the taslim, which rak'ah do I actually pray? The 2 that I've missed or the 2 that are remaining? I mean, do I recite Surah Fatiha and then another surah in the rest of the 2 rak'ah?
Okay, we'll clear up the whole situation.
Sure.
Okay, great. Jazakallah khair, Brother Abdurrahman. We've got another question here, Sister Samiha's question. I think we did go through it the other day in the episode, but voluntary fasting on behalf of somebody close to you, your mother, even though they're alive, because she's not able to. Is that allowed, Sheikh?
It would be only permissible to make up fasting on behalf of somebody who died or when fasting. But if somebody is sick and is not expected to be able to fast, then what is prescribed in the regard is al-fidyah. فَفِدْيَةٌ إِطْعَامُ مِسْكِينٍ. No one can fast instead of you in this case. Rather, you feed one poor person per each day you skip during Ramadan.
Can she feed on behalf of her mother if her mother's not able to?
Of course. Just whenever we have the wikala, the person either have to be appointed or at least permitted. So in Sadaqatul Fitr, for instance, when somebody is generous and he wants to pay Sadaqatul Fitr on behalf of the entire family, not just his dependents, but he wants to pay for his parents, his brothers and sisters. So in this case, he has to give them a call or give them a buzz and say, you guys don't worry about the Sadaqatul Fitr because I'm paying it in your state. Or if they ask him and so there is a mutual agreement that this person is doing so.
Okay, great. Jazakallah khair. Sister Nadia from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sheikh. She says that she wants to go and pray Tarawih in the mosque, but she's got a 1-year-old daughter. She runs away and so forth. She's a bit afraid for her. Can she pray Tarawih by herself or in Jama'ah? We can speak about that. And recite from the Mus'haf itself.
Number one, based on al-masalih wal-mafasid ratio, the benefit-risk ratio, I would highly advise every sister who have an infant or baby or a child who is not responsible yet, who wanders around, who cries a lot, to pray at home. Not just the Taraweeh and Fard prayer. Why? Because I know how eager you are and keen to attend the prayer in congregation and listen to the halqa in between and benefit and all of that. Fine. But you cause distraction to everybody else. The child is going wild or is crying and disturbing everybody in the prayer. Why? Why the Prophet ﷺ said to one of his lady companions, your prayer at home is superior in reward, between brackets, to praying behind me in my masjid.
Behind the Prophet
So
in his
if
masjid?
the Prophet ﷺ
Wow.
is alive and he's leading the prayer in the prophetic masjid, he's advising the ladies, it would be better for you to pray at home. Does it mean that we go all the way to the extreme? According to some cultures, they ban women from entering the masajid. They don't even have designated areas for the sisters because they cannot imagine a lady going to the masjid. Nowadays they have a lady wearing the helmet and pair of jeans and long boots and working in construction engineering, but when it comes to the prayer they're stuck with it. No, you can't go to the prayer. No, the Prophet ﷺ said in the sound hadith, لا تمنعوا إماء الله المساجد. We cannot prevent women from going to the masajid because it's not only the prayer, the Friday sermon, the classes, the lessons, the ta'aleem, the hilaq al-ilm. So all of that. If a woman is going with her husband, with mahram, with a person who is looking after her, and they don't have youngsters who would disturb the congregation, please go ahead and attend. Sometimes if a woman chooses to pray at home, she will feel lazy and she will be negligent of praying the Taraweeh or reading the Quran or doing something useful. Instead she will watch movies. So in this case we say go. But I advise the sister and the sisters who have babies and children who are not fully controlled and are not responsible, to make sure that it will be better to pray at home. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, next we've got Brother Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad. You're live and ask Huda your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Brother, could you please turn down your television
warahmatullahi
set if possible, so I don't hear my voice because I don't really like it.
Okay.
What country are you calling from, brother?
I'm calling from Guinea Conakry.
Oh, Guinea. Okay. Carry on, brother. Your question, please.
I'm very glad of your station because it makes me get the iman of Islam.
Jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah.
We'll ask Allah to accept it, brother. Your question?
Yes, I have a question. There's something that happened yesterday when we were about to play in the evening. A man drink on Sunday he was drink. And then yesterday went to prayers in the evening, but some of the others they didn't pray with us. So I really want to ask the question: if a man drink, he should not. If he will not pray the others.
Okay.
When he's forward, he cannot pray the others. I want to really ask that question.
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Muhammad. Jazakallah khair. Okay, that's Brother Muhammad there from Guinea there. Okay, next we have Sister Maryam from Egypt. Sister, you're live and ask her your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
salam.
Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem to you too, sister.
Yes, I have a question. I heard of a hadith that says, La itikafa illa fi salatati masajid.
Okay.
Masjid al-Haram, or Masjid al-Nabawi, or Masjid al-Aqsa.
Yeah.
I want to know the soundness of that hadith.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Sister Maryam there. Okay, the question there, just for the viewers, was that the sister was quoting a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that there's no itikaf in those three mosques, but Sheikh is going to expand upon what we mean by that hadith. Okay. Jazakallah khair. Sister Nadi had a question, Sheikh, regarding new clothes in Ramadan. Okay, and buying new clothes in Ramadan. She spoke about hisab, no accountability for this. Do you have an understanding for this explanation?
I don't understand the meaning of the question. What do you mean that buying clothes in Ramadan and there is no hisab? I don't really get it. If the sister is concerned about the spending and the amount of spending, whether in Ramadan or outside Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. Eat and drink, and of course, wear whatever you want to wear, as long as it is within the average, the moderate spending, because Allah does not like the wasteful ones or the extravagance. So if this is the case, then spending in Ramadan outside Ramadan should be the same. But if you're talking about giving any charity during Ramadan, then without limit. The Prophet ﷺ was the most generous of human beings, but in Ramadan his generosity would be without limit. He would be even much more generous in Ramadan. So no one can be called wasteful because of the amount of spending in a charity. I try to cover both suggestions in case that she meant this or that.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, Brother Abdul Rauf from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Brother, you're live and ask her your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Muhammad Salah and Brother Jamil.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have two questions. My first question is it recommended to use some kind of special slippers while we put on ihram so that our feet are visible?
Okay.
And my question number two is, can we shorten our prayers in the haram? For example, if we reach after 1 hour of praying Isha time, and then can we shorten our prayers if we are praying in the evening?
Okay. Jazakallah khair, brother. Okay, that's two good questions there from Brother Abdul Rauf. Okay, we'll just go back to this question from Brother Abdul Rahman.
No.
He's asking a question regarding how to make up the missed salah. And I think he called previously. Can you just clarify, Sheikh, from the beginning to the end, if possible, Sheikh? Somebody comes in and they make salah, they missed some rakah. Which ones do they finish? Which ones do they make up? Just the whole clarification.
The missed salah is a whole chapter, but he only asked about a specific part, which is not missing a whole salah or salawat, plural of salah, rather missing a number of rakahs from the current prayer in the jama'ah, how to make it up, how to go about making up the missed rakahs. The hadith, which is narrated in two different narrations. The second one, which says that you should come to the prayer with tranquility and peace. فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. The hadith is collected by Imam al-Bukhari in this dialect, in this narration. It happened when the Prophet ﷺ heard جَلَبَةَ رِجَالِ. He heard noise. Like all of us we hear when the Imam goes for ruku', you hear some people running, jogging in the masjid, because they just walked in, they saw the Imam ruku', they want to catch the rak'ah to count as rak'ah, so they hurry, they rush. So when the Prophet ﷺ heard that noise, after the salah, he asked, what was the matter? They said, Ya Rasulullah, we wanted to catch the prayer. He said, إِذَا أَتَيْتُمُ الصَّلَاةَ فَأْتُوهَا وَعَلَيْكُمُ السَّكِينَةِ. Come walking. وَلَا تَأْتُوهَا وَأَنْتُمْ تَسْعُونَ. Do not run, do not jog. Come walking with tranquility and take it easy. فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا. Whatever you join with the Imam, join in. That's another benefit. Some people, when they come and the Imam already raised from ruku' and he's going for sujood, they stand still, doing nothing. The Imam is in sujood. I know, but it won't count as a rak'ah. Why shall I go for sujood?
Subhanallah.
So they wait standing. They feel like, I'll be doing something without reward. It is not required. So they wait. That's wrong. The Prophet ﷺ said in this hadith, every letter of the hadith has a benefit. فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا. Right away, join the Imam in the jama'ah. Join the jama'ah, whether in ruku' and sujood and tashahud. وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. And whatever you missed, he said what? فَأَتِمُّوا. There is a difference between tamam and qada. The other narration which Imam Abu Hanifa approves and relies on, it says فَقْضُوا. So whatever you missed, make up. According to the two different dialects, now we have two different opinions.
Complete and make up.
Yes. According to the vast majority of the fuqaha, فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا, based on al-Bukhari narration, which means if you begin with the Imam in his second or third or fourth rak'ah, for you, that is your first rak'ah. So the order will be as follows. You join the Imam in the third rak'ah. As he said, he missed the first and the second rak'ah. Now you join the Imam in the third rak'ah. You recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and if you have a chance to recite Surah, recite it, because this is your still first rak'ah. Same thing with the second rak'ah. Then after the Imam makes taslim, when you get up, you just recite Surah Al-Fatiha in the remaining two rak'ahs, because these are your remaining two rak'ahs, tamam. These are the completion of what you started. The other narration is وَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَقْضُوا, and accordingly it will be the opposite. I'm not going to discuss the opposite because I feel more confident with the first view, and this is the more right according to the narration of Imam al-Bukhari. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, Sister Maryam from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Sister, you're live, and ask your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa
alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question. If a woman performing Umrah gets in the middle of performing Tawaf, she keeping food dua for it?
Sorry, Sister?
Thank you. Jazakallah khair.
Sorry, could you repeat the question, Sister? Sorry, I didn't get the full question. Okay, I think we're having problems there with Sister Maryam. Maryam, please do call back, Sister, and we'll try to put you straight through there. Okay, we're going to take a short break now, and inshallah return in a couple of minutes. Please do stay with us on Ask Huda. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to Ramadan in Focus. I'm Yusuf Estes. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim, you can appreciate the subject of Ramadan. As we say in Texas, get the hay down where goats can eat it. You know, totally and completely all mercy, if there is mercy, must be coming from Ar-Rahman. How much? 99 times all of the mercy that's ever been shown in this universe is going to be shown to the believers on that day. And certainly we will need it. Isn't that the truth? Look, this is from the mercy, the rahmah of Allah. So it's always a responsibility of Muslims to make sure the right message gets out. But it's also our responsibility to listen to those in authority over us.
The entire staff at Huda would like to wish you a wonderful and blessed Ramadan.
All the prophets are brothers, and they represent the same message. What was the call of the prophet? What was his invitation? He was inviting to what? So the prophet said, "Oh Allah, grant your mercy on the one who is tolerant if he sails, on one who is tolerant if he buys, and one who is tolerant when he seeks his rights. Try to discipline them in the best way. Those daughters will be his shield." That means those will be the reason, the cause of his protection from hellfire. Because of what? Taking care of them. What you have in this life, no matter what you have, is less, and it is temporary.
The entire staff at Huda would like to wish you a wonderful and blessed Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Ask God. If you want to give us a call today and partake in this episode, please give us a call on country code 202-38555, 248-249. Alternatively, send us an email at ask@huda.tv. Our next call is Brother Zaid from the United Arab Emirates. Brother, you're live on Ask God. Your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam to Dr. Saleh also.
MashaAllah.
Maybe you remember 2-3 years before you guided me regarding the nightclub.
Yes, remember the question clearly actually. Barakallah fikum.
So you guided me and alhamdulillah I stopped that one immediately.
Barakallah fikum.
Thank God, alhamdulillah, God gave me a lot of things.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Now, your question please, Brother Zaid.
Sorry?
Do you have a question?
Yes, even before the question, I would like to hear the entire story about the nightclub. MashaAllah, Jamil has a good memory.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for your God gave you a very big ajr and all.
Okay, the brother, I can tell you the story. I think the brother's been cut off. We'll wait for him. The brother used to... Brother Zaid, you there? No, you're not. Okay, Brother Zaid, if you could just give us a call back. The question was, the Brother Zaid used to refit nightclubs.
Oh, really?
And, do all the decoration and everything. And I remember he asked you the question and he said, what do I do? And you said, just stop it straight away and just make tawakkul and Allah will find something. And I remember a year later he rang and he said, I left that, I started the halal business and my risk increased by tenfold.
Alhamdulillah. That's why you needed to remain here and ask with it.
Jazakallah, Brother Zaid, if you can give us a call back, we'll wait for your question there. Okay, next we have Brother Umar from Nigeria. Brother, you're live and ask your question, please. Brother Umar, are you with us?
Yes, I want to know. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your question?
I recently developed a slip disc.
Okay.
Shafakallah wa afah.
Ameen ya Rab.
And I intend, inshallah, to perform Umrah. But because of my physical impairment, I will have to engage the services of some helpers. How right is that? Do I wait until I get better to go and do it physically? Or I should go ahead and get some form of assistance when I get there?
Okay.
Sure.
Jazakallah khair, brother. Okay, next we have Sister Saida from Nigeria. Sister, you're live and ask her your question, please. Sister Saida, are you with us?
Wa alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have two questions actually.
Okay.
First one is, can a female or a female person be a sheikh?
Sorry, sister, could you repeat the question?
I mean, can I be a sheikh?
Okay.
Can you call a female person a sheikh?
You call her sheikha, yes, you can, but we'll go into that, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. The next question?
I'm a married person, and I want to further my education in Korea, and it's going to take like 3 years.
Yes?
So, is that permissible if my husband allows me to do that?
Okay. Jazakallah khair from Sister Saida there from Nigeria. I do urge our brothers and sisters, whether they're from Nigeria and other parts of the world, if you're going to call us, do try to get a good line. I know it's difficult sometimes because it's very difficult to get the questions, and also we've got people waiting on the lines. Jazakallah khair. Okay, we've got a question here, Sheikh. Sister Maryam from Egypt. She was asking about this hadith about the Prophet ﷺ saying there's no itikaf except in the 3 mosques. Could you expand upon that, please?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyyihi wa mustafah wa ba'd. It is permissible to perform i'tikaf in every masjid jami', in every major masjid where they offer the 5 daily prayers and a Jumu'ah prayer, because it is not expected to pray Jumu'ah in a masjid different than the masjid which you are residing in during the state of i'tikaf. The hadith which says لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى 3 مساجد is pertaining making an intention of traveling to visit a particular masjid that is limited to one of the 3 major masajid, al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, al-Masjid al-Nabawi in the Medina, and al-Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. May Allah free from the hands of the perpetrators. So performing i'tikaf anywhere on earth, in any masjid, in the States, in Russia and China, as long as it is a masjid that the congregational prayers, the 5 daily prayers and Jumu'ah are established in this masjid, then it is permissible to offer i'tikaf there.
Jazakallah khair. Brother Abdul Rauf, Sheikh, had 2 questions, both regarding making Umrah. The first one was specifically when you're in the state of Ihram. What footwear are you allowed to wear? The brother's asking about slippers. Are we allowed to wear slippers? What's the actual ruling on footwear in Ihram?
No. When we say during the Ihram, amongst the mahdurat or the restrictions for the male is wearing any stitched clothes. That doesn't apply to the shoes, doesn't apply to the sandals, doesn't apply to the leather band which have stitches. So it is okay to wear the shoes that do not cover the ankles, or slippers, even if it's stitched.
Okay, the second question regarding shortening the prayers in Masjid Haram. Are we allowed to shorten our prayers for travellers?
If you're traveling anywhere, the travel distance and a lawful journey, you are permitted and you have the concession of shortening the prayer. But the question is, if you're going to Al-Haram, you travel a long distance coming from whatever destination, coming from India, from the States, from Egypt, what is the purpose? I just quoted the hadith, لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى ثلاثة مساجد. I'm coming to the Haram to earn the reward of praying in the Haram after performing Umrah. Each prayer you offer there, whether it's fard or nafl, is 100,000 times superior to praying anywhere else. Okay? So that means you will end up praying jama'ah with the imam, right? So if you pray behind an imam who is resident, then forget about your concession, because you join the imam and you pray on full, you pray in jama'ah. So if you want to shorten the prayer, you're allowed to, but in this case, when you pray jama'ah, whether in the haram or anywhere else, you join the imam. You pray with the imam if you pray short, or if you pray is complete, you join the imam. إِنَّمَا جُعْلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ.
Jazakallah khair. Brother Umar from Nigeria said he's got a slipped disc. May Allah cure him, bring him back a speedy recovery. He says he wants to make Umrah, but of course because of this physical impairment now, he wants some helpers. Should he get some helpers to help him, or should he wait until he gets better?
It depends on the impairment.
Okay.
That how severe is it? Can you move? Or the difficulty is only with bowing down and sitting down and standing up and all of that. Because there are a lot of people who are entirely paralyzed and they still go to perform Umrah and Hajj. Keep in mind, your Umrah is voluntary, it is not a fard. But, tell you the truth, if I were you and I have an access to perform Umrah and I'm sick, and I have an access to hire somebody to push me in a wheelchair to perform Sa'i and Tawaf and Sa'i, I would not hesitate to do it. It is much more worthy to perform Umrah when you're sick, hoping that from drinking from Zamzam water and prior to that making the dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you a shifa. He's indeed able to do all things. Zamzam lima shuriba lah. But as I said, it depends on how severe is your impairment and physical disability. If you can move, if you can travel, if you can sit on the seat in the plane and have somebody afterward push you in a wheelchair, that's fine, and you will find it very, very accessible. As a matter of fact, every time we visit, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man la yashkur al-nas la yashkur illah." Those who are in charge for the Haram, whether in Mecca or Medina, are doing a marvelous job, a magnificent task. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. Those who are in charge for these sacred places. The tracks for the wheelchair, whether for the tawaf or for the sa'i, very, very accessible with the elevators. And they have people, sometimes you get lost and you're trying to find somebody to push you for 150 riyal or 300 or 400. They have people who do that for free. And they have boys with the Boy Scouts, and they have volunteers will give you even the chair and the electronic chair and all of that. So try to seek any of that. If you're not capable to pay, it is not a problem at all. Then you can always pray in your hotel room if you cannot walk into the masjid. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, Sister Saida from Nigeria had a question regarding, can a sister, female, a woman, be somebody of knowledge, be a sheikha, for example?
Of course, in the Islamic history is full of lady shuyukh. It will be called shaykha as a feminine with the ta, marbuta by the end. Sayyida Nafisa was a great scholar, and she was one of the shuyukh of Al-Imam al-Shafi'i. So Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, this great Imam, used to study with Sayyida Nafisa. Aisha al-Mu'mineen, may Allah be pleased with her. She was the greatest lady teacher in this ummah. She narrated to us thousands of hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, and she taught us a lot of things. Some scholars said almost 50% of our deen we learn from Aisha. She transmitted that from the Prophet ﷺ. So why not? I learned from my wife. She excelled in the different dialects of the Quran in different fields that I'm not experienced in, so I seek her help. A lot of things that you find some sort of complementary. The husband is, I'm talking about the brothers who are in da'wah. The sheikh specializes in hadith and his wife is in fiqh or whatever, so there is some sort of they complement each other. Of course, if there is a lady, we would like to have lady scholars as much as we can, so that we'll give them the podium, they can teach the ladies.
Jazakallah khair. So this is a call there, Sheikh's making a call out there.
No, of course.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I kept saying that my students, whether in Sharia Academy or London College, formerly known as London College, the best students, without any hesitation, were ladies. And believe it or not, reverts, the revert sisters excelled in studying Islamic studies more than anybody else, more than those who were born in Islam. It really amazed me, and I kept making this remark last time I was in London. Everywhere I go, it is very impressive. It is indeed a phenomena. They're very keen, and they have this eagerness of learning Islamic studies more than anybody else. Some say because they got time in their hands, but I believe, wallahu a'lam, rather it is the strong will and determination.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Got a question here from Yasin here from Yemen. She says, I missed 7 days of fasting last Ramadan due to pregnancies and childbirth. But alhamdulillah, she said, I was able to make them up. However, recently I read that it's not permissible to fast in the second half of Sha'ban unless you're a person who regularly fasts in this part, or regularly fasts. And I do not frequently fast. So what's your opinion regarding this, Shaykh?
The hadith is sound. It is true that the Prophet ﷺ forbade fasting, and it is disliked to fast once the middle of Ramadan arrives. That is pertaining to voluntary fasting, such as fasting on Mondays and Thursdays or every other day, for those who did not have the habit or the tradition of fasting voluntary fasting. But those who normally fast voluntary fasting are exempt from this restriction. They can still fast until 2 days before, 1 or 2 days before the beginning of the month of Ramadan. This is one thing. Second, the mandatory fasting is also exempt, because Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha narrated a hadith in this regard. She said that she used to make up the remaining days that she owed during Ramadan in Sha'ban of the next year, a few days before Ramadan. So there is a necessity, which is I'm making up the days which I missed. So there is no blame on you.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, we have a question here from Brother Abu Bakr from Senegal. He's asking a question regarding travelling to Europe. He says, I'm travelling to Europe, but I prefer not to break the fast because I enjoy fasting when the entire ummah is fasting. MashaAllah. Is this permissible, or do I absolutely have to break the fast as long as I am travelling?
No, you don't have to. It's a concession. The difference between the scholars, whether it is better to fast or better to take the concession. But if you're capable to fast, it won't hurt you, it won't affect you negatively, then fast. No problem. May Allah reward you.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Abdullah from Egypt asked a question regarding some of our friends who have children who are old as 12. But they excuse their children from fasting, saying it's too hard for them.
12 and it is too hard,
yes,
then it is too late.
They say that because the young man is experiencing extreme hunger and thirst, he's excused from fasting. Okay, and then she says, well, I know children who are less than 10 and they fast. So what's the situation here, Sheikh? What's the advice?
I know children who are the age of 7 and 6 and they fast the entire month. I know them in the United States of America. I know reverts. So if they can do it, then your child can do it. The problem is, it is us as parents who may spoil or set straight our children. Sometimes we underestimate their abilities. Say, no, they can't. We have also, on the other hand, some mothers would say, I don't want to teach my child Arabic or Quran at this age. Why? Because he's studying at school in English and he's also taking French as a second language. It may cause a lot of confusion to him. So when would you decide to teach him Quran and Arabic? Yeah, when he perfects and masters English and French. When would this happen? It never happens. and they do not get any knowledge of the Arabic or the Quran. While we have parents with azima, with high zeal and strong determination, they achieve both.
Yep.
And Allah grants them success. I want to ask a question. What if you're a child who's 12? 12 is, I'm not going to say very close or approaching maturity and age of puberty. No, it can be. A lot of kids, a lot of boys reach the age of puberty at 12 or even earlier. What if today, in the month of Ramadan, the son, supposedly the parents have informed him that experiencing a wet dream is an indication that you reach the age of puberty. Now we start a serious business. The salah which you're doing as voluntary, it becomes mandatory. And now you must start fasting. What are you going to say? Well, he's hungry, he's thirsty, he's going to start skipping days in Ramadan. Why? Because you did not prepare him way in advance. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, عَلِّمُوا أَوْلَادَكُمُ الصَّلَاةَ لِسَبْعٍ وَضِرِبُوهُمْ عَلَيْهَا لِعَشْرٍ. As early as the age of 7, we should teach our children how to pray and fast.
Jazakallah Sheikh Muhammad for all your questions and all your answers, sorry. It's an excellent being with Sheikh
I
Muhammad.
didn't ask any question today.
Well, actually, mashallah, you asked one or two, but you got no answer from the brother there. We're waiting for Brother Zayd to come back there. Jazakallah Sheikh Muhammad for being with me in this asker there. We've got just 2 announcements, and as usual, I give these announcements before we leave, but very importantly that this is your channel. Qanat al-Huda, Huda TV, is not a TV station that doesn't take your views, and we always want you to get involved in our channel, give us views, what you think is right and wrong, or what you recommend as programs. Please send those to ask@huda.tv or support@huda.tv. And also, we need your support. If you'd like to support one of our programs, it's very important that this is your channel and you support it. Until the next time, we both leave you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate